Thank you very, very much indeed.
Thank you.
And this is great, absolutely great. To be able to play in front of people is really good. And thank you very much to for not singing this particular song. I'll start with this one and trust that you might well know it. It's generally known as the best Irish song, and it's written by the best of our English folk, Ralph McTell, from Clare to Here. Well, there's four who share this room, and we work hard for the crack. Sleeping late on Sundays, I never get to Mass. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. It's a long, long way, it grows further by the day. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. When Friday comes around, Terry's only into fighting. We mow it like a letter home, but I'm too tired for writing. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. It's a long, long way, grows further by the day. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. It sometimes breaks my heart to think of Josephine. I told her I'd be coming home with my pockets full of green. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. It's a long, long way, it grows further by the day. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. The only time I feel alright is when I'm into drinking. Sort of ease the pain of it and levels out my thinking. Oh, it's a long, long way from Clare to here. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. It's a long, long way, and it grows further by the day. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. I sometimes hear a fiddle play, or maybe it's an ocean. I dream I see white horses dance upon that other ocean. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. It's a long, long way, and it grows further by the day. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. It's a long, long way from Clare to here.
Lovely.
Thank you very much.
If you can unmute yourself, please, Chris.
Did that just happen then?
Yeah, I'll be muting you between songs. So.
Oh, gotcha. That's good. I was I did one of these before, and I've moved myself round now because I sat and I was quite near to the desk, and I've got a touchpad on the computer with it. And when I started getting into a song I was singing, little did I know that every once in a while my guitar rested on the pad and muted myself. So everybody was getting about every third word. But I'm well away from it tonight, so other than gremlins, we should be fine. It's really, really good to see actually friends old and new on here. And I trust that there will be some friends from you all that I haven't actually met before. So it's really, really nice to join you. And this that song goes back with me for years and years and years. So for the people who know me from years and years ago, when I was a student singing around Liverpool and places, then that might take you back to those days somewhat. For the rest of you, I hope it's just a jolly good anthem. And I could see some lips moving, but thank you, Jamie. And I just had the strip, so I could only see 2 or 3 of you actually lip syncing with me as best you could. Now I've got a bigger screen, but I haven't quite got everybody. But good to see. There's various people. I'm bound to miss them out. My buddy Brian is on there, Brian Maguire, who's a partner in crime and has been singing with me. Nice to see Brian. There's Mrs. Rogan. There's my daughter Louise is on there as well. It's nice to see you. And people who are just around the corner from me. And I have a suspicion that there's a Ted Marie who are they're just out of my shot at the minute, but I think they're actually from Milwaukee. And it's a long time since we've managed to catch up. So if I've got that right, it's lovely to have you here. If I've got it wrong, hello, Ted Marie. I wonder where you're from. We went for a walk, as you do these days. And I came across a heritage walk near Norden in Rochdale, up by Green Booth Reservoirs. Lovely walk, up this neck of the woods. And there was a sign there and a road sign that was called Cotton Famine Road. And that caught my curiosity. It was just about the time of the atrocities in America with George Floyd. And this one came out of it. And it describes the time when the cotton industry was flat on its feet in 1862. And the cotton industry took sides with Abraham Lincoln and the Union because of his wish to abolish slavery. But both sides wanted to block the cotton because they wanted the backing of Europe and to see how important they were to us all over here. Dire consequences followed. From Ruley Moor to Manchester town, our cotton mills stopped turning. We suffered long, we did not waver against oppression, against the slaver. Shout for the Union, the part we play. Shout for their freedom, we suffer as we say. We stand forever with our brothers, no more slaves. We were made poor as the cotton price soared. We lost our homes and were forced to roam. No bales of cotton to fill our bobbins, no bobbins to fill our looms. Of singing. Shout for the Union, the part we play. Shout for their freedom, we'll suffer as we say. We stand forever with our brothers, no more slaves. Don't need your ticket for your education. We need bread to fight starvation. You turned us out when your money tightened. We left your town when we were frightened. Shout for the Union, the part we play. Shout for their freedom, we suffer as we say. We stand forever with our brothers, no more slaves. We stood our ground against your soldiers, bayonets drawn, they had your orders. We backed the cause of old Abe Lincoln to wipe the stain from those downtrodden. Shout for the Union, the part we play. Shout for their freedom, we suffer as we say. We stand forever with our brothers, no more slaves. No more slaves. Thank you. Thank you very much. If you wander out of Manchester Town Hall down Brasenose Street, there is a statue of Abraham Lincoln. And it's for that very reason. It's because the cotton workers decided to write him a letter saying, we back you, but we're in dire straits because we've no cotton industry here. Well, if that song's fairly new, this one isn't new. Just check this a little bit. This song is, Louise will smile with this, and so will my wife, because this is one that we generally view as being a bit of a family heirloom. I used to sing this song with my dad. He had a fine voice. A hell of a dancer as well. He danced to anything. We used to call him Rubber Legs. The song has probably become a little bit more popular in recent years. I didn't hear it for donkey's years. We were busy singing it. And as well as loving to sing it with my daughter, Louise. And she joined me with this particular track on the last album I did, which was last year, which was just sort of, nudging along nicely. And then all this kerfuffle started around us. On some of the other tracks, Brian Maguire, who's somewhere on the grid, is featured as well. But this particular song, you might know it if you follow the likes of Steve Knightley, Phil Beer with Show of Hands, because they do a lovely mash of the setting with Mary of Dunlow. And this is the full version of the one half of their mash. This is Mary of Dunlow, written by one Podrick McConnell in 1936, who witnessed the events described. Is the sound all right for you? Thank you. So fare thee well, sweet Donegal, the Rosses and Gweedore. I'm crossing the main ocean where the foaming billows roar. It breaks my heart from you to part, where I spent many happy days. Farewell to kind relations, I'm bound for a barricade. Mary, you're my heart's delight, my pride and only care. It was your cruel father would not let me stay there, but absence makes my heart grow fond, and when I am over the main, may the Lord protect my darling girl till I return again. My love is fair and pretty, her age is scarce 18. She's by far the fairest maid of all that e'er tripped o'er the green. Her lovely neck and shoulders are fairer than the snow. Till the day I die, I'll scarce deny my Mary of Dunlow. I wish I was in sweet Dunlow and seated on the grass, and by my side a bottle of wine, and on my knee my lass. I'd call for liquor of the best, I'd pay before I would go, and I'd roll my Mary in my arms in the town of sweet Dunlow. Mary of Dunlow. Thank you very much.
Unmute, please.
Do beg your pardon. I'm close. One of the things that sometimes catches the curiosity of those people who play guitar is the fact that I'm rather daft and use two capos. That one being the full capo, the usual bit, but this one is a part capo, and the part capo essentially means that you can place it in some different ways, but what it allows me to do is it allows me to take a dadgad pattern with it this way on for some of these songs. But the sharp-eyed amongst you later will notice that I turn it round later on. And if you're totally curious about it, I've done three YouTube videos. That's I think you look for Chris Rogan music, and if you are so inclined and curious about it, and they've gone up in price since I got mine, by the way. I've had this a few years. Then you can figure out what's going on. Yes. Okie dokie. How are we doing? This is a song. This is going to take you. Mary of Dunlow is set in Donegal, and my dad's family comes from Donegal, and this song also has a hint of Donegal about it because I had to twist it in. This song it describes the adventures, shall we say, of one Captain Francisco de Cuellar. Francisco was a captain of a ship in the Spanish Armada, and he had quite a bit of a journey, but his sort of real rise to fame is that he survived, and we know what went on because he wrote a letter to his wife to say, "I'm okay," or his Spanish words to that effect. And he described all manner of different things that took place, including the voyage and including getting shipwrecked. He actually got shipwrecked off County Sligo, as quite a few of the others did. But he survived it. He happened upon what were friendlier folk in Ireland than the other sort of group in Ireland who weren't so friendly to the Spanish arriving unannounced like this. And he managed to get back, and he got a ship back to Antwerp, and it was about a year later he got back home. But I think that when he got back home, survived all of that, he'd have been an absolute idiot if he didn't go out and buy a lottery ticket, wouldn't he? That was just my thought on it. The two facts I twist together: that he survived and was a captain. He survived more than that because he was actually due for execution because he broke formation in the North Sea. Who wouldn't? Storms. But the other fact that I twist is the shipwreck of La Trinidad Valenciera, which was shipwrecked, ran aground off of Kinigo Bay in Inishowen. The Inishowen Peninsula is right up at the very top of Ireland. That's where my dad comes from. And my dad, being dark-haired and blue-eyed, the joke in the household was that he was descended from the Armada. We haven't a shred of evidence to that effect. Here's Francisco anyway in his story. There is a bit of a chorus, by the way, a bit of blowing in the sea and a bit of blowing in the wind and a bit of rolling in the sea that comes into this. So you might just pick that up and you can mouth it back to me. Sing whatever you like, really, back at me, because I can't hear it. Francisco de Cuellar. My name is Francisco de Cuellar. I'm a sailor for the crown. I know the sea, its memories. I'm haunted by the sound. For I survived the raging sea, the failure of our quest, For I sailed with Sidonia, still I search for rest. I sailed with Sidonia, and still I search for rest. Here's the chorus. And the wind did blow, and the sea did roll, all for the fancy of the king. I left my wife and family, the king's work to be done. La Trinidad Valenciana, my home it would become. We hauled our anchor from the sands, sailed to England's shores, but fate she had another plan of torment and much more. Fate she had another plan of torment and much more. And the wind did blow, and the wind did blow, and the sea did roll, and the sea did roll, all for the favour, all for the fancy of the king. Routed by the English, we travelled ever north. Our supplies of food and water were getting ever short. To Ireland's coast we hoped and prayed our failing ship would last, but the sands of Kinnigo Bay would see our ship was sinking fast. The sands of Kinnigo Bay would see our ship was sinking fast. And the wind did blow, and the wind did blow, and the sea did roll, all for the fancy of the king. Not knowing who was friend or foe, my shipmates were cut down. So many of us left our homes, so few would be found. But by God's grace my life was saved, to tell the world my tale, how my heart is left in torment since Sidonia and I set sail. How my heart is left in torment since Sidonia and I set sail. Let's go. And the wind did blow, and the sea did roll, all for the fancy of the king. All for the fancy of the king. Francisco de Coelho.
That's Prime Minister's.
Okay, how are we doing, Steve? Should I do one more?
One more will be great, Chris. That'll be fantastic. And you're
All
coming
right,
on
then.
again later, aren't you, towards the end for maybe 10 minutes at the end of the evening?
Yep.
That'd be
Yep.
brilliant. Thanks, Chris.
This one is a favourite of mine, but I probably came to it a bit late. I think many other people came to it a lot earlier than I did, although I knew of it and I admired it greatly. This one is a song written by Paul Metzer, who you might well know. His song "Farewell to the Gold," and if again you can sink along with it as you go. I'm sure it will. If you're rusty with it, it'll flood back. Paul, the interesting bit in the sense Paul is a Dutchman who married a Cumbrian lass and wrote this song when he was folk singing in South Island, New Zealand. And like many a folk singer, finding that getting to rub two pennies together was a luxury type of thing. But the song, in a sense, was a kind of a parallel to that because it described the life and times of the gold diggers, the panners for gold, and how they couldn't make ends meet. So do sing along, and thank you very, very much. I should say I'm thrilled about this. It may not. I'm trying to keep my thrilling just sort of under the lid as best I can, but to actually be able to do this in a small set like this is really is great stuff, and a rare thing these days. So let's hope before too long that might get the chance of actually seeing you all face to face, and we can swap notes on it all then. I'll be back later on, as Steve was saying, so I look forward to that and listening to all of you. Some lovely songs that are coming across. Very nicely done. Very impressed. Try and get that one sorted. Shot over river, your gold it is waning. It's weeks since the colours I've seen. There's no use just sitting or lady love blaming. So I'll pack up and make the break clean. Farewell to the gold that never I found. Goodbye to the nuggets that's somewhere abound. For it's only when dreaming I see you gleaming down in the dark, deep underground. It's nearly 2 years since I left my old mother for adventure and gold by the pound. With Jimmy the prospector, oh he was another, to the hills of Otago was bound. Farewell to the gold that never I found. Goodbye to the nuggets that's somewhere abound. For it's only when dreaming I see you gleaming down in the dark, deep underground. We worked the cardronas, dry valley all over, old Jimmy Williams and me. But they were panning good dirt on the winding shot over, so we headed on down to sea. Farewell to the gold that never I found. Goodbye to the nuggets that's somewhere abound. For it's only when dreaming I see you gleaming down in the dark, deep underground. We sluiced and we cradled for day after day, making barely enough to get by, till a terrible flood swept poor Jimmy away during 6 stormy days in July. Farewell to the gold that never I found, goodbye to the nuggets that somewhere abound, for it's only when dreaming that I see you gleaming down in the dark, deep underground. Thank you very much. And indeed. I'm just going to shift you back to my... Gotcha. Okie dokie. Speaking of Christmas, I'm very grateful for this opportunity. The club is making a very good stand for those people who've lost gigs over the course of all of this trouble with the pandemic. My tips jar has actually rattled a couple of times, but if you think that you'd like for Christmas especially to take away something and or gift something to someone, especially if you've got it in for them, you could buy 2 albums. But I've got 3 albums and various bits and pieces. If you prefer downloads, they're available. If you prefer the little whirly thing that goes around, then I have those as well. All on my website, and it's the easy one, chrisrogan.com. You'll find it all on there. So that's the Christmas plug-in. I have a couple that if I can squeeze it in. This first one has become a favourite, and I'm in the middle of recording a further album at the moment. There's a bit of a pause on it, but I'm also trying to work out things with my daughter. We're separate. We've been forbidden, if you like, to meet in houses since August, where we live. But we've come across some software that means we can actually practice at distance in real time, which is fantastic. And there are streaming possibilities. So you can friend me on Facebook, you can join the list on my website and keep in touch that way if you so wish. This is a song by John Doyle. It's got a ring about it at this time. It seems to be quite poignant. It's called The Exile's Return. When winter comes and all is silent, the saddle-bear is tightly bound. The fox she prowls on down by the moonlight. Snow lays thickly on the ground. And though we bid farewell in sorrow, we will meet again in distant lands and drink a health before our parting, when the exiles will return again. The hearth is hard to leave this long night. We face a long and a treacherous road. Hard times must be faced undaunted. Loved ones lighten up our load. Though we bid farewell in sorrow, we will meet again in distant lands and drink a health before our parting, and the exiles will return again. is cold, the children are sleeping, restful dreams of Tiernan Ode. Jeannie Johnston's bound for sailing. Now, my friends, it's time to go. Though we bid farewell in sorrow, we will meet again in distant lands and drink a health before our parting, when the exile will return again. Though we bid farewell in sorrow, we will meet again in distant lands and drink a health before our parting, when the exile will return again. Thank you very much. Oops. John Doyle is someone I greatly admire, and I think somewhere, either on Facebook or on YouTube, something like that, that the version that Louise and I do is tucked away. If you haven't come across us at the minute, just to hear Louise is probably good enough reason to seek us out. I'm a dad and I'm biased, but she has a glorious, beautiful voice, and I just love singing with her. She puts up with me no end. Thank you all, the familiar faces, the not so familiar faces, for coming along tonight. One particular one, Brian Jones. Sorry, Brian, I didn't get the request in. I ran out. But Brian took this rather atmospheric photograph of me. So that's come in handy a couple of times. Thank you very much to Peter, to Steve, and to Brenda, I think that is beside him, for both organising, getting me here as your guest, and organising through the night. It's been very, very good. My compliments and my thanks to all of you for singing. There'll be some lovely songs, some of which I've not heard in a good while, but all of them very pleasant. So it's been really good, and it's not just made my night. This is this. I don't know how long this is. I'm going to get a ride out of this one from, but I've loved it. Thank you very, very much, and I hope we can all get together face to face before too long. Let's hope. I'm going to leave you with this one, and I'm hoping that I can actually see the miming pieces going on. So sing along. The Galway Shawl. At Doranmore, in the county Galway, one pleasant evening in the month of May, I spied a damsel. She was fair and pretty, her beauty stole my breath away. She wore no jewels, no costly diamonds, no paint, no powder, no, none at all. But she wore a bonnet with a ribbon on it, and around her shoulders was the Galway shore. We kept on walking, we kept on talking, to her daddy's house it came into view. She said, "Come in, sir, and meet my father, and play to please him the foggy dew." Oh, she sat me down beside the fire. I could see her daddy, he was 6 feet tall, and soon her mammy had the kettle boiling, and my mind was taken with the Galway shore. She wore no jewels, she wore no jewels, no costly diamonds, no paint nor powder, no, none at all. But she wore a bonnet with a ribbon on it, and around her shoulders was the Galway shore. I played the blackbird, stack of barley, Rodney's glory, and the foggy dew. She sang each note like an Irish linnet, and the tears they welled in her eyes blue. It was early, early in the morning, I took the road to sweet Donegal. She said, "Goodbye, sir." I hugged and kissed her, and my heart remains with the Galway shore. She wore no jewels, no costly diamonds, no paint nor powder, no, none at all. But she wore a bonnet with a ribbon on it, and around her shoulders was the Galway shore. Around her shoulders was the Galway shore. Thank you all very, very much indeed.
What a fantastic night. Thank you, Chris.